happening? Welcome to the latest episode. You know how we do it. Let's get this going. We here. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to this episode of After Dark. It's me, Raider Rich. With me, I got my boy Whit, my brother from another mother, Cade Morehouse in here. Cade in the cage. You know him. Follow him. Keep following him because he's bringing you the good shit out there in the MMA streets. What's happening, fellas? What y'all up to?
Nah, man, just chilling. I'm kind of sad. USC just sold me out of a band, but
I'm not. You know what, boys? I gave you guys your shit last week. I'm not even going to talk about it this week, bro. Because USC fans, man, they're.
Yeah, I had no words,
bro.
But you know who's winning right now, right? And you know who's going to be ahead of USC in the rankings after this week? Oh, that's right, baby. The Bruins. Who would have thought, baby?
Who?
The Bruins, baby. We're going to be ahead of you. Hey, you guys are number 18 right now with another loss this week. We're number 25. We'll probably be ahead.
Okay, cool.
That is until we play you guys.
Right.
But who knows? This sorry-ass team, we might beat them.
You know what? The funny thing is that the offense is national championship. The defense
hold on.
It's bad, bro.
Last week
last week was all on it was complete.
This week,
people are gonna have bad games. And that's acceptable. It's acceptable to have a bad game.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, you guys weren't national championship worthy this week either.
I don't know.
It's time to give it up. The national championship.
Oh no, we are nowhere near a national championship. The only way we're near a national championship, they got to get a whole new defensive coaching staff, right? And Caleb got to come back for another year. That's.
Which I actually don't think's out of the possibility, but unless a team that he can see a future with, for at least the next 5 years, is worth going to the NFL for.
Right.
Bro,
if Chicago ends up the number one pick, I'm not sold on him going to the NFL. I think he'll stay at USC.
If he pulls the Eli Manning, or he says I don't want to go to Chicago.
He doesn't have to.
I'm just saying in general, the tax is going to be to get that number one and number two pick if Chicago holds. It's going to be astronomical.
He won't even have to pull an Eli Manning. He's just going to simply say, I'm not going to the draft. I'm just going back to SC. That's all there is to it. I do have two sleeper teams that I do like coming into this college playoff. And I know we're here to talk Raider ball, but while we're on the subject of college, Michigan's tearing up the field right now. And another team that continues to win week in and week out is Washington.
Right.
So those are two teams that I'm like, keep an eye on. I'm not really too sold on Georgia this year, man. This Georgia team doesn't fit the last couple years Georgia team to me. I think they can get beat.
Right. No. They can get beat. They can get beat. Losing to Jalen Carter and Bear Alexander is fucking. They makes them look. They don't look as stout on defense. Let's tell the truth.
Same thing with Bama. Like Bama coming into this year.
I've been getting beat.
Yeah, they've been getting beat, but it's like the same thing with like Bama. The reason Bama's not good this year is they don't have the quarterback play. They don't have the explosive offense they're used to having. And I think it's almost kind of the same thing with Georgia in a sense. They're not as explosive. I don't know. I think they can get beat.
Right.
But Rich, this is your show, but I got a topic we can talk about. We're going to watch 4 hours or 3 hours of Brian Hoyer tomorrow. Let's go.
Hold on. I was looking something up real quick because I wanted to see some what was, because North Carolina lost today, so I was kind of looking at.
Yeah, and that was brutal. That was a brutal look for Drake May because they had a chance to come down the field and win that game, or at least give it a shot, and he got hit and threw the ball and it got picked.
Yeah.
Drake May right now as it stands, and I like Drake May. I think he's a fantastic quarterback prospect, and I think he could be good in the pros, and I think North Carolina has a lot bigger problems than Drake May. But right now as it stands, I think he's the number 3 quarterback in this draft.
Ooh, who's your number 2?
I told you last week. I think it goes Caleb and then Michael Penix.
Okay. I got May ahead of Penix for one reason, just younger. That's it. It's not like Michael Penix is fucking super old either.
Yeah, but I'm not going to sit here and grade him above Michael Penix. Hold on one second.
I think he's just a little more dynamic than Penix. He can't spin the ball as beautiful as Penix, but
so this is
legs a lot better, stuff like that.
Here's my thing. I think I'm not going to grade him above Michael Penix because he's a year younger than Penix or a year and a half younger than Penix, because in the NFL, if you protect your quarterback, they can play for a long time. So I don't believe that he's a better prospect, or we should draft May over Penix if the two are available because he's a year and a half younger.
Well, he also doesn't have the same injury history also. You got to give him that, though.
I want to look into that because I've never heard of Michael Penix getting hurt like that.
Yeah, I think he had 2 ACLs each leg. So, yeah, that's the deal with Michael Penix. Trust me, the Raiders draft Michael Penix, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? But, so we're going to talk about Brian Hoyer time. I do think that, starting Brian Hoyer is a little bit better than just starting Aiden O'Connell. I think Aiden O'Connell kind of showed that he wasn't ready for it yet. It's just this a guy is going to need a couple years in the system to be able to grow and maturate and become better. So I just think that while I know that he has a lighter arm and he's probably a lot more accurate down the field, it's probably best to start the veteran over, the rookie.
I don't agree. I think you got to start Aiden O'Connell, and I think it's because you drafted the kid, and with the position that the Raiders are in right now, you give the kid reps. And Hoyer, I'm not going to shit on him, but he hasn't even won a start since Colin Kaepernick was in the league. He's not that good. And if you get the same production out of Aiden O'Connell, I think here's my point is if the Bears might be the perfect team for Aiden to play against to get reps, because it's a game where he can build confidence. When he started against the Chargers, I don't think that was the best. Maybe I still wanted him to start against the Chargers, or play against the Chargers. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it would have probably made more sense to maybe even start Brian Hoyer in that game than this game.
Right.
Even though I would still like Aiden O'Connell to start both the games. But
Right.
this game specifically against the Bears, who has been probably the worst team in the National Football League, or one of them, top 3 worst teams in the National Football League, I think this is the perfect game for this kid to get reps. Just how I see it.
Let me ask you a question, though. If Jimmy Garoppolo comes back next week, and do you just keep benching the kid? Is that what we're doing?
I think it's. I mean, yeah, you have to because you're paying Jimmy good money. I mean, here's the thing, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but when I looked at the contract situation, and I'm not the best with the contract situation, so if I misspeak, please tell me. But the way that I took it is when they restructured Jimmy G's deal, they fucked it all up because you were going to be able to get rid of him after this year, but now he's 7 games into a Raider career and he's been hurt twice, and you've already paid him like $28 million.
Right. Let's pull up his.
It's not a good look for this Raiders front office with the way that they've handled some of these situations.
It's really not. You mean? And I'm somebody who was very muchly, trying to give these guys the benefit of the doubt, and okay, base salary $1 million. No signing bonus, roster bonus of $1,800,000, workout bonus $200,000, restructured bonus basically $500,000, dead cap. Hold on. Let's see.
Because while you're looking all that stuff up, the one thing that this front office, everybody was saying was supposed to be so great about them is how they structured contracts and how they were going to fix our.
It was actually the people before them. You mean? But
no. That's what I'm getting to. So we were already in kind of like a cap hell because of previous management, and these guys were supposed to come in here and get us out of cap hell, but. If anything, we just dug ourselves deeper with Chandler Jones, Jimmy G, and some of these other contracts that we have. Because Chandler Jones is fucked.
Oh, dude. But
we're still paying Corey Littleton.
I think this is the last year we're paying Corey Littleton and Kwiatkowski. So, that's going to be over after this year. Because I know we were on track for like $80 million.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying that on top of what we just talked about, we're still paying guys from years ago.
Yeah, and it sucks too because we were supposed to get rid of those deals after this year. We were going to starting clean, and then, it's like after everything you've gotten out of, okay, so now you just replace those contracts. Well, maybe not the full, but most of them. You replaced it with the Chandler Jones situation, but, everything you've gotten out of Jimmy thus far this season, I don't know how you can keep him around next season, and you're probably going to have to after the restructure, I'm guessing. But even if you cut him, you're going to eat dead cap money. You're looking at it right now, Rich, aren't you? I mean, how much
I just sent it to you.
You sent it to me?
Yeah. Look at the dead cap.
I don't. Did you text it to my phone or?
Yeah.
On Instagram or on text?
On text.
I didn't get it, buddy.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it's probably still loading.
Right. It's got to go from Android to iPhone, over the seat.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
I'll send it to both of you guys. Hold on IG. Let me see. There it is. It's on IG. So you guys can both see it.
Let me see.
Holy shit.
That's a lot of fucking money. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I can't even lie. After seeing that, bro, that's a fucking fireable offense.
Bro, the Chandler Jones situation in itself was a fireable offense. Let's put this all into perspective. The extending Derek Carr and getting nothing from him, the Chandler Jones situation, the Jimmy G situation. It doesn't look good, bro. This is fucking terrible. How the fuck are we supposed to better our team and bring free agents in here when we're fucking eating up fucking $90 million of dead cap money on 2 players?
And here's the shitty. This is the funny thing, right? So I don't know how true this shit is, or if it's just the media acting dumb, right? But you know, there's a lot of rumors going around that Devontae Adams is not happy. He does not want to be here, and he wants to trade, which is funny to me because he knows damn well there's no fucking possible way in hell to fucking trade him because of the goddamn cap. You're gonna take a loss no matter what with that. You mean you're gonna take a loss with that? So that $60 million. Fuck, let's go look at his salary cap here.
The only thing, the Raiders are going to have to eat that money regardless, especially if they want to trade him and ask for a first-round pick in return.
No, hold on now. Shit.
No, but what I'm saying is if let's say the Raiders wanted to, I'm not saying they will or they won't, but let's say that they were after the season, they were going to trade him, right? And they want a first-round pick out of a team. The only way that they're going to net a first-round pick for him and his talents is if they eat most of his deal.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. So now we're talking about $100 and something million in dead cap that we're eating.
Bro, for 2 players.
For three. Chandler, Chandler, Jimmy, and Devontae.
Yeah.
If we were to move on from those teams, we're in cap hell.
And that was supposed to propel us to the next level, right?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, look, I don't like to sit here and tell you guys I was right, but I'm pretty sure I sat here on this show before the season and told you about the bullshit.
You know what?
I don't know what else to
You
say.
were right about some things.
No, I was right about fucking almost every single thing I said.
It wasn't everything, bro. You were doing the mad fucking guy fucking bullshit, bro. Shut the fuck up.
I have a reason to be mad. This fucking team is a joke still.
Bro. Oh, dude, you see the hat, bro?
I do. I like it.
It's fucking lawless fucking little monster fucking chewed up my fucking penalty one.
Man, it's time to kick that dog out, dude. He's fucking costing you more than he pays in rent.
Oh, dog.
Hey, that little puppy's costing you more than he pays in rent, dude.
Right? Shit.
Gotta get the food.
So yeah, but I don't know. This whole salary cap shit, it's just gonna continue. You mean, dude, this team.
Here's the thing, Rich.
I don't know if they're coming back. I don't.
Here's the thing, too, is it sucks, right? Because now, when this regime's gone and they bring in the new regime, the new regime that comes in here is going to be under pressure again because they got a mess to clean up. Every single time we get a new regime in here, they got a mess to clean up.
That right. And they gotta with the new regime, man. It's like with the new regime and the way we've been just running shit these past decade or so. It's like it's gonna be hard for some of these players. Like, if you want these top tier players like a free agency or anything like that, like it's gonna be hard for that because it's like. You bringing in a new regime, like how many new regimes you have been through in the past 10 years or so? And it's like it seems like there's just no stability in the office. And,
we're probably gonna take one of those Reggie McKenzie. Remember when he just sat there and cut everybody? and we rolled out with
Yeah.
some bullshit. That's probably what's going to happen. Let's be honest.
There's only, and I'm being dead honest when I say this, and the reason I say this is call me delusional or whatever. I don't care, but this is just what I see in my mind. The only star player, and the reason I say this is because I think he's so appreciative of everything he's been through and how good the Raiders have been to him and given him his chance and how good they were to him during the draft process and just everything. And he just bleeds the Raiders. I think the only superstar player or star player on this team that sticks around for any type of a rebuild is Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Hobbs maybe, but I honestly this team, it sucks too because the talent on this team is way too good for what they put on the field. And everyone says, I saw people dragging Devontae about being negative and everything like this, but the facts are the facts, bro. He's actually correct. We won the last 2 weeks. They weren't good wins.
They weren't.
Our offense hasn't even scored 20 points this year.
No.
And our defense that we don't even probably have more than $25 million allocated to outside of Max Crosby. If you want to just
Trayvon Morgan is the third highest paid player on that defense.
Yeah, exactly. But is he still on his rookie deal?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
crazy.
If you take away Max Crosby, we probably have $25 million allocated to the defense. Right?
Probably more than that.
How much would you say? 40?
Probably 40. But I mean, let's be honest.
But no matter what,
it's difference between the offense and defense.
That's what I'm saying.
And Mark Davis just cut a check last year for $300 million for the offense.
It's really crazy though because like Pat Graham like has been saying like close to past 2 seasons that he like the system works when he has his guys, and it's like he's doing way more with less. Like we're having this discussion now about how we're rolling with a very below average defense, just like money wise, and it's like but they're playing like over their expectations.
Well, the more and more with that I watch this team, and I get very frustrated at times with certain things that Patrick calls on defense. But the last 3 or so weeks, I can't complain about him, to be honest with you, because it's like I think honestly he's been trying to get to know his players and figure out who does what best to put them in the best situations for what he has. And I think he started to figure it out. And our defense has actually played a lot better than our offense the last 3 weeks, and that's fucking facts, bro.
It is, but look at this too, though. Since there's not a certain player there that they that wants the defense blamed for every fucking problem, right? People can actually sit back. The whole fucking fan base can sit back and be like, look, this defense ain't got fucking is Max Crosby, Mike Epps. I have to say Trayvon Morgan now.
He's been balling.
And 8 other dudes. It's just 8 other dudes. Oh, and Diablo. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, though. I will admit this. This was one thing that I was wrong about in the offseason. I think I might have said this last week, too, or maybe the week before when I was on the show. But the one thing that I was wrong about in the offseason is I guarantee you this defense would be 10 times better if we flipped our pick from Tyree Wilson to Jalen Carter. And I tried to defend the pick to everyone in the offseason. Oh, man, you haven't even seen the kid play yet or anything like that. Right. I'm not calling him a bust. He may be a player that takes a year and a half to develop. The matter of the fact is Jalen Carter has came out of the draft to the Philadelphia Eagles and made an impact right away. In fact, I think he is the number 1 rated defensive tackle in football right now as far as pressures go.
Yeah.
And I think about that. How much would that help somebody like Max Crosby
Not
on
much.
the defensive line?
Not much.
Bro.
I think so.
Not
I think
much.
so.
He only
I
takes
do.
like 38% of the snaps, bro.
No, it
You're
would
telling
help.
me somebody who's part-time. I mean, I get that he's good. But with this offense, this dude's gonna be on the field all day, and it's just gonna happen like that. Come on now.
But he doesn't. Here's the thing, though. That's another.
No.
Hold on.
He's
You're
in a
saying
10-man rotation.
no, but you're saying that he only takes 38% of the snaps. Okay.
Yeah.
He takes 38% of the snaps, and he's got more pressures than Aaron Donald or any
I
defensive
understand
inside.
that. Aaron
But
Donald
here's the other
ain't
thing.
Aaron Donald.
No, but here's the other thing, though. He may only take 38% of the snaps, but that may not be by his. That's not really his fault, because here's the deal. They still have Fletcher Cox, who they're not taking out of that defense. He's the veteran there.
Mhm.
And they still have another good player in Jordan Davis, who they took.
Who was the Jalen Carter before Jalen Carter? Because remember, he started off the year
Exactly. So
looking
they
like
have
defensive rookie of the year and fizzled out too, right? From the same
They
school,
have
right?
3 defensive tackles
Get it.
on that defense that can rotate.
They got 4.
4, because they have, I forget his other name. They actually do have another
It's like
name.
Milton Williams or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know, but they got 4.
But that's the thing.
For the defensive tackle.
He would help Max Crosby, because here's the thing that Jalen Carter does.
38% of the
draws
time.
double teams.
But he also, from watching him in college, takes a lot of plays off. And you take somebody from a system where he's taking 38% of the snaps, and now you put him at, let's say 70, right? So we're gonna be real generous, right? Now I'm not gonna say our guys are fucking great. You mean they're not? You mean I actually like Butler and Jenkins. The rest I'm cool on, right? And those they're just middle of the road guys. You mean I don't know. I don't think to this day that Jalen Carter was the right fit for the Raiders.
But I'm willing to put my money on it that Tyree Wilson doesn't play more than 38% of the snaps.
I'm sure he doesn't, but he's also coming off of injury.
But that's not the point, though. The point is
the other guy's just coming off of being out of shape because he was about to get drafted into the NFL.
But it's not a good look for the Raiders either way you want to put it, because
they
hold on.
Call a player this or that. This is because
Jordan
Davis. We thought he was the rookie of the year. Did he win rookie of the year?
Okay, but here's the thing.
No, he didn't. He started off hot and fizzled out.
Here's the thing. Tyree Wilson, we
dropped up. I got you with that. All I'm saying is, so let's preference it. At week 7, Jordan Davis is fucking Jalen Carter is a better pick, right? Week 17, it could be a totally different thing, right? Just be honest.
No, it's not going to be, because here's the deal. No matter how you want to put it, you could say Jalen Carter wasn't the right fit for the Raiders, but here's the deal about it. You drafted a kid who has injury problems right out of the gate. You drafted a kid that has injury right out of the gate. And then here he is, and I don't even think he's winning more than 5% of he doesn't even have more than a 5% win rate. I mean, the kid's not doing what Jalen Carter's doing, and that's just fact.
He's not.
It's just harder. It's harder to find those D tackles like those Quentin Williams. You know, those Dexter Lawrence. It's hard to find those D tackles like in those first rounds like that more than the DNs. Like we see DNs like 3rd, 4th, even Max Crosby 4th, 5th round. They pop up, they flourish. Like, was it last year, 2 years? It was like last year, Jeff, or 2 years before. Detroit got James Houston from Jackson State in the 6th round.
I mean, look at even I don't know, bro. I just feel like we missed on a lot of opportunities. Michael Mayer, he showed out last week. That was a huge positive sign because I want him to do well. But, it's even look at the kid for Pittsburgh, Keanu Benton.
Mm-hmm.
there's guys that we could have drafted to help out our defensive line, and we just didn't do it. And
Julie over there, fucking San Diego, fucking wherever the fuck they play at. Where do they play?
Oh.
Really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But as for the Jalen Carter, Tyree Wilson little debate you guys got there, I'll throw this interesting little curveball at you guys. To the best of my recollection, Jalen Carter didn't play last week because he was injured.
That's fine. He's still doing more than what Tyree Wilson is doing.
That's not true because Tyree Wilson did record a tackle while Jalen Carter was sitting at home watching the game, sitting on the sideline cheering his teammates on.
Yeah, but we're 6 weeks into an NFL career, which is fine. I'm not going to judge a kid off 6 weeks, but he doesn't even have what's his. I mean, does he even have a single pressure this year recorded?
So now that's where it gets interesting because you could bring up that argument that nobody has an official stat recorded as a pressure, but you can also throw on the tape, and I'd invite you to tell me what constitutes a pressure. He forced a quarterback to throw an inaccurate pass because he was in front of him with his arms up.
Yeah, and he's also had plays where he's getting blocked 10 yards outside of the play.
He is getting in the backfield. They're even starting to double him and triple team him.
Holding him now.
Yes.
I've seen
he's not finishing.
Yeah.
He's not finishing, but teams are paying attention to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're trying to make an argument here for Jalen Carter and Tyree Wilson, but the reality of the fact is that Jalen Carter is the number 1 rated defensive tackle in football right now in terms of pass rushing and pressure, and he's 6 weeks into an NFL career, and our kid's over here, and he's not right now.
Hey, so go ahead, Whit.
Go ahead, sir.
I was going to say, so just for shits and giggles, let me ask you to put together Jalen Carter's Hall of Fame resume 6 weeks into his rookie season.
Are we, bro, fuck you, Phil. You fucker. You know what? I fucking hate you guys. The matter of the fact is, Jalen Carter's done much better in 6 weeks than fucking Tyree Wilson, all right? That's what I'm fucking saying here.
Hey, measure him up, Kate. Measure him up. That's all you got to do. Think he looked like a 44 long.
And I was the motherfucker that was defending Tyree Wilson when we drafted him. I was like, you guys are fucking tripping. This kid's going to be a stud. He hasn't done shit.
It's not time yet, but he will be.
Right.
He better get quicker on the first step in the NFL if he wants to get some sacks. That's all.
He's getting there. He's getting in the backfield.
Now, for what you're asking for is specifically about his get-offs, his foot is going to have to fully heal and become 100%. He's not 100% right now.
Well, then why is he playing?
Because he can play. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's 100%. He's still rehabbing that bitch. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for it, but I will tell you that will get better with time as long as his foot heals properly and continues to heal.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just think that there was just some other things that we could have done in the draft that could have drastically helped this defense out for the long term. As of right now, they're the best thing that we have right now on our team, and that's just facts. So I can't really complain about it. That's neither here nor there. Honestly, I think we could have done things to help our defense, like I said, for the long-term future. There were some guys sitting on the board that we passed on for some other things. But what we really should think about is how so much money is on this offense and we can't score 20 points. That's the real conversation. The defense honestly shouldn't even be an argument right now because the offense has so much money on it that we don't even know what to do with, and we can't fucking score the football.
Well,
That should be the conversation.
Let's tell the truth.
So first, before we even go down that road of talking about things that did or did not help the defense, I would argue that the defense is the unit that's outperforming absolutely everything. So whatever was done to this team that they did in order to address the defense has indeed helped the defense. It's now made them an above middle of the pack defense on their way to, dare I say, higher heights.
Hell yeah, everybody's tackling everybody else because on the other team because Bob will tackle you.
That's John. Hey, that's John Roberts. You put respect on John Roberts. Goddamn
Yeah, I mean, why our defense is playing good, obviously I want them to do better. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to say that in a negative way. Of course I want them to do better because I think that defense is important. And I know this is an offensive league, but I look at this defense and I'm like, yeah, they're okay. They're doing their thing. They're keeping us in games. That's for sure. But I mean, playoff football is a lot different from regular season football. And neither offensively or defensively do I think that we can go to the playoffs right now and compete with some of these teams. That's just my opinion, though. And not everyone's going to agree with it, and that's fine, But I just really think that on both sides of the ball, this isn't a playoff team, and defensively, right now we are doing good. Well, as good as we can to keep us in games, but offensively, for sure, we're not doing enough. Defensively, I kind of look like an asshole if I say that we need to do better because we are doing pretty well on the defensive side of the ball. But, I always want better for my team. But if I'm going to complain about something, it really should be on the offensive side of the ball because it's fucking disgusting.
It's just crazy now because during the off season, leading up and also in the preseason, we was like, yeah, this offense, like our defense is shitty, but our offense to win games, like our offense has to win games was now it's like we're 6 weeks in and it's like it's flip flop. It's like, damn, we need our defense to keep playing with, just to keep us in games, just so we can win.
Well, the good news about that is your defense has been playing like that the entire season. The games that people will point to and tell you got out of hand in terms of the score, if you go back and look at it, were games that featured more than 2 giveaways by the offense. So you set your defense up behind the 8 ball, and if they didn't do something heroic, you ended up out of a game before you gave them a chance to even do their thing. The rest of those games where the offense didn't have 2 or more giveaways, they barely gave up 17.
On a $5.75 defense, what's happening?
Patrick Graham is out there coaching his fucking ass off since he got in the booth. You were right about that, Rich.
Yeah, I can't say, a couple not 3 the last 3 weeks he's been amazing, but the whole season actually he's done good. I complained about him a little bit in the beginning. I complained about him last year, just certain things he was running that I was just like, why the fuck are we running that on third down? But reality is Patrick Graham's the best fucking coach on this coaching staff. It's just reality. It's reality, and for what he has, he deserves credit because I really didn't put it in. I didn't put it into perspective like that when I used to say, what the fuck is he doing, man? But reality is that, this whole time he's really been trying to find where guys need to be at to do his scheme with what he has. He's been trying to figure out, who needs to play where or who needs to be lined up where. And I think the first couple of weeks he really was playing around a little bit with, figuring out, what to do with what he had, and I think he started to figure it out because obviously we're holding teams. But yeah, he's the best coach on the staff, bro. And I think honestly, if we were to let go of Josh McDaniels, I honestly wouldn't mind if he stayed.
I wouldn't either.
To Trayvon Morty, we've seen a little bit of a maturation, him learning where to put it. he was a highly touted safety coming out of college for a reason.
Best safety coming out of college.
He's starting to look like that safety.
So knowing your personnel, knowing how they fit in your defense, finding places for them in your defense, those are things that he's doing. And this is something because all right, so let's be honest. How many times have we seen a coach on this team try to force square pegs in round holes? Every year, right?
Still doing it.
So but these are the little things that we're seeing now that Patrick Graham is doing for this defense. I mean, I don't think he's got all his guys, and I don't think that. I mean, there's probably a lot more that they can do to help Patrick Graham to have a good defense. But
I'd have to argue that's not true because he currently has a good defense.
no, I'm talking about like a top 10 shutdown defense that the people are oh, we're facing them. This is a defensive team. I'm sure that there's some guys he could probably use, moving forward. And I think it starts with Max Crosby, and I think it starts with this leadership. And I mean, let's face it, dude. We need some corners. We need some corners. We need matching corners. Like I would like. I mean, we have guys who play good man, and the guy who plays fucking zone. So I kind of would like to see some more matching. Now I do understand you can mismatch them. You can run zone on one side, man on the other, and stuff like that. But
Cap.
Cap. Are you serious? I like fucking Tiny Lope in man coverage, brother.
Where are the Raiders ranked in terms of pass defense right now?
Let's find out.
While you're looking that up, I will say this.
11th in yards. I believe they are 18th in touchdowns with 8, having given up 8 total. They haven't given up a 300-yard passer yet.
Damn.
Additionally, I don't believe they've given up much more than 200 yards passing in the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt that little pity party, but I thought if we were going to be talking about stuff, we should at least get it right.
You know what, sir? They still need corners, motherfucker. You say what you want. All right, let's go. Vegas Raiders are so far the 21st in the league, right? Pro Football Reference, right?
I'll say this though.
Because of points against, right? At 131 points, they've given up 1,800 and let's say 1,900 yards. Let's see.
I'll say this though. I'm a big fan. I've always been a big fan of Marcus Peters, but I think after this season I could do without.
Yeah, he was
So I'll say this. If he was catching the balls that he's getting his hands on, we'd be having a different conversation. It's not that he's not getting his hands on the football, because he too has been getting his hands on the football more in the last few weeks. I think that the way Patrick Graham has been mixing it up with the coverages and how he's letting them play has wreaked havoc in other quarterbacks because they're just used to seeing them play that zone all. Not to mention the Raiders pass rush has picked up significantly, and they're not at the bottom of the league in sacks. They're not at the bottom of the league in pressures. Mac, you see all the accolades that Max is getting, but he's getting all the noise. Bilal Nichols has been on a tear as well.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing with Peters, obviously not catching the football is a big deal because a couple of those could have turned to points. Obviously those are things that you need to do as a professional is come up with the football, especially when it hits you right in your chest. But my biggest thing with Peters is just like he just seems like a step slower, and I expect that. He's older. He's been in the league a long time, but it's just like and honestly, he's had this problem a lot of his career is getting beat deep. He's done that a lot, but
might he be better at safety?
Slower than he.
Like someone said.
People were expecting Marcus Peters to come in here and be this all-pro corner, but the reality is that Marcus Peters, for the last couple of seasons, has slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah.
But even with that being said, Marcus Peters hangs on to the 3 passes that have hit him in both hands. He's got at least 1 pick six, 3 probably 2. Yeah, 2 pick sixes, 3 picks overall. 6 weeks into the season, and we're now talking about he's hit the fountain of youth, and he blah blah blah. He's the man. So his season literally comes down to the outcome of those 3 plays. Either he sucks because he didn't make them, or he's Hall of Fame bound because he did, and he's broke all the records for the last 8 years, having the most interceptions, the last 8 years, most going back for a touchdown, which all are literally the next 1 or 2 interceptions and next 1 or 2 pick sixes that he gets. Those are all the records he's getting ready to break.
Yeah, I don't think Marcus Peters sucks at all, actually. I think, I still think he's a presence on the field. He's a veteran leader. Like I said, I just think he's just a little bit step slower. But you're right. If he catches the football and he takes 2 of those to the house and the other 1 or 2 that he dropped, he's probably got in the league lead for picks.
Yeah, we're having completely different conversation, but he got his hands on those balls. They go down as PBUs, which obviously look good on the stat sheet, but wouldn't be anywhere near as valuable as the interceptions.
So he's just having the Trayvon Moore year.
Butterfingers.
I want to while we're on this topic, by the way, of the defense. I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to bring up, Rich, but we're talking about the defense. One of the kids that I like coming into the season that I thought should have had a roster spot and has actually done really well these last couple of weeks is Tyler Hall. I think Tyler Hall should stay on the team.
Tyler Hall was a top 3 at the end of the year. He was a top 3 rated nickel corner.
Last year when he was on the field, he was really good. I would have to go look up the numbers, but I don't even think he gave up more than 100 and something. I forget what it was, man. I got to go look it up, but I know he did his thing when he was on the field last year.
So here's the thing with that is that virtually everybody who's played that position in the last 3 years has had enormous amounts of success. Is it a skin? And this is with 2 different coaching staffs. You've had Patrick Graham. You've also had Gus Bradley. If you go back to the star that Keyshawn Nixon was, the only reason that Keyshawn Nixon is in Green Bay right now is because Nate Hobbs kept him on the bench. Because Nate Hobbs in his rookie year and at that nickel cornerback was the best corner in the AFC statistically, according to PF Pro Football Focus. But Amik Robertson has had success there. Tyler Hall has had success there. Obviously Hobbs, Keyshawn Nixon you've literally had the last 5 guys who've been there have all had success playing that position since they got rid of LaMarcus Joyner.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Why you bring up that name, bro? Why you do that to me? I was having a happy day, bro.
Let me ask you this. Nate Hobbs obviously hasn't played the last couple weeks. He's been dealing with an ankle injury, but maybe I'm missing it. maybe I'm missing it. Tell me if I'm missing it, by the way, because I don't catch everything. But one thing I miss is having Nate Hobbs hiding those blitzes and sending Nate Hobbs in for the blitz. I felt like he did so well at that his rookie year. Like you send him on a nickel blitz and he is in the quarterback's face. He was so good at doing those. I feel like I would like to see more of that. Am I missing it or
Buffalo.
what's that?
Buffalo squared up face to face. Josh Allen, just him and nothing but space and opportunity.
I did see that actually in Buffalo. I do remember that actually. I do.
So again, it's coming down to executing opportunities and finishing the job. And the difference between those first couple of weeks was, and honest and truthfully, it wasn't really them not doing it, because the only game that really got away from them was the Buffalo game.
Right. But the defense was on the field most of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but your offense was dog shit and never made it past 3 plays.
Right.
So let me ask you about this. Let's talk about some scenarios here. We got Brian Hoyer starting tomorrow against the Bears. No, I'm just asking. We won the last 2 weeks, so we're 3-3. We're at 500, so we're coming back a little bit. But the rest of our schedule after this week, it gets a little tough. So if we dropped the game tomorrow, I'm just saying, if we drop that game tomorrow to Chicago, do you think that is going to start a real conversation in the front office about Josh McDaniels and the future of him and as the Raiders coach? We've had this conversation a lot, but losing to Chicago, I feel like, is a pretty big deal.
I think winning or not, I know Phil's gonna say something, but I know winning. I think winning or not, I think the conversation's already been said, or is already taking place
right now.
Yeah,
you're already having those conversations.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to look at the money that's being shelled out for this offense.
I mean, Mark was just in the damn circle dancing his ass off with the Aces. Like he wants to
so badly.
Wants to have that feeling more than just in the WNBA.
Right.
Phil, you're quiet over there. What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, because obviously you have a little bit more insight than us. And obviously there's some things you can say and some things you can't. But let's talk opinions here. Like, what do you think happens if we were to drop the game tomorrow in Chicago?
So Josh McDaniels, if you notice, is doing everything that he possibly can to win a football game. He's not trying to do anything. He's not trying to take any chances. He's not trying to push the envelope any further than he has to. If you watch him, he's coaching to waste the clock and make the games as short as possible to eliminate what was supposed to be to hide a bad defense, but instead it's masking the fact that his offense can't do shit. So in a shorter game, other teams are not getting the ability to score as much, so the games are not lopsided.
Okay.
With that being said, it's been a tense, precarious situation, and a lot of people are not happy with the way things are going. Luckily, the league is at a point this year where there's no runaways at this point. It's still all the pack is still in 2 to 3 loss category. If the Chiefs lose to the Chargers, we get a chance to beat them, and then we'll have the same record as them with a better or the same division record.
I just think our after this Bears game, our schedule gets scary tough because you go to you got both New York teams. Then you get the Chiefs and the Dolphins back to back. and then you get the Chargers and Chiefs back to back. I mean,
No.
those are tough games.
I think too, Robinson. He was asking you, what do you think happens if the Raiders go out, lay an egg, and lose to Chicago? That's what.
That question is a different question. Is a different answer. What do I think? I think that that's not going to be looked on very highly, and that those will be the types of indications as to whether or not somebody is going to continue to be able to make decisions around here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will say have put the odds on him being the first guy to get fired. There was a reason for that.
Well, it's
now what makes it interesting is that a lot of this shit isn't necessarily his fault, because you can point to moments where the play was there, the design was there, the execution was lacking because the player just fucked up.
yeah, but that, to me, that's football. That shit happens all the time. Now, that's obviously still not an excuse.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's just this is kind of going off track a little bit, but like it's just like I was talking to Rich about the other earlier in the show when we first started. Like it's not just about the play on the football field anymore. It's like we're eating money for Chandler Jones. Jimmy's contract is $55 million dead cap hit now. Devontae is still here, but if any reason he was like, fuck this shit, I'm out, we're on the hook for another fucking huge dead cap hit. We're almost over $120 million in dead cap hit on those three players alone if they're all out of here. Just
Literally today that Devontae Adams is not going anywhere. Whether
but he could say, you know what, fuck it, I'm out after the season. He could say that, and most of the times they get their way because these players will sit out.
They're not trading him. He ain't sitting out.
That's obviously, like I said, that's either here or there. But I'm just saying, at least if you want to bring it to, if you just want to exclude Devontae from the situation, you just look at the Jimmy G and the Chandler Jones contracts. We're like $90 million in dead cap.
And not only that, but those were the handpicked guys by Josh McDaniels. You know what I mean?
Or Dave.
Both. It's not just Josh. That's Dave too.
I believe at the end of the day, Josh makes the final decision.
No, I don't truly believe that. I think Josh has an opinion and Dave takes his opinion highly.
Decision on offense. And gets a heavy influential decision on defense. Why? Even though I believe that offense is really where he gets to have his say, and the quarterback. That was what he's put out there, and what he's shown you that he likes at quarterback is not winning football in this league anymore. And the fact that he can't recognize it means that he no longer needs to be making that decision, if you really want my honest opinion.
Facts. That's not even an opinion. That's a fact.
The decision making is awful. The rah-rah is not there. And you don't have to be a rah-rah guy to be a coach. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, look, bro, you are failing miserably at some very key areas, and you've cost your team multiple games already with your mismanagement of the clock and an improper attention to detail, which is supposed to be what the whole basis of your scheme is all about, is attention to detail. But somehow you can't figure out when the fuck you should be kicking a field goal, or when the fuck you should be not making a decision that nobody else in the history of the NFL has made, dating back to 1994.
Not only that, Phil, Casuals may not pick up on this shit, but us diehards will pick up on this shit. This motherfucker tried to fucking get Patrick Graham fired.
No bullshit. And then
Right?
Yeah. That weak ass shit.
That motherfucker
What's the
fired.
police?
Pat Brown gave him that reverse Uno. That motherfucker.
He said, "Well, fuck it, I ain't
Hey,
taking
ain't nothing
the brunt of this shit. Patrick, you out, motherfucker." Jeez, man. There's just a lot of things that have gone on now. Like that whole restructure of Jimmy's deal, man. That I think that really put the Raiders in a bind with him because I'm pretty sure we could have moved on from him after this year, right? Now it doesn't seem.
Yes, you. Well, if
You still can.
I
Technically,
don't-
you still dead
you
cap,
can.
but
It's a whole lot of
but
dead cap.
if the other thing is that if you didn't if he restructured, I have to go back and see how exactly it affected it, but he's got the largest part of his salary is roster game bonuses. I think that what happens is they converted all of it. They guaranteed him for this year, more or less. I don't know if that's still the same fact for next year or whatnot.
So,
But if they didn't, then that means that he's no longer getting paid for every game that he doesn't show up, which is why they announced that he wouldn't be playing so early this week.
I don't know, man. All I've seen is that $55 million dead cap hit, bro.
Well,
Not gonna hear me argue, but that's how you know that the reality financially they have no choice but to draft a quarterback and make it work with a drafted quarterback. I just
Right.
don't believe this is the organization, that this is the front office or the coaching staff that should be making that decision.
no. I don't
have
want
to
this
agree.
regime near my fucking new quarterback at all.
And let's face it, fella, this team is too good for Caleb Williams to get Caleb Williams or Drake May. So our realistic fucking guy is somewhere between Penix and Bo Nix.
I'm fine with Penix.
You know,
Fine.
so
I was watching Cam Ward today. I'd like Cam Ward.
too.
This is another problem I had with Phil that you could probably comment on. We're playing one of the worst teams in the NFL this week against the Chicago Bears. Am I tripping or Brian Hoyer? I'm not going to shit on the guy, but he hasn't won a fucking game as a starting quarterback since Colin Kaepernick was in the NFL. We drafted a rookie quarterback, Aiden O'Connell. It's like, don't you think that the Bears are the perfect team for this kid to come and get his reps against? I just don't. I just think that he should be the starting quarterback this week. The Chargers was a little bit tougher task for the kid for his first fucking game where he's going to play the full game, but the Bears, I mean, this is a game against, especially Justin Fields is out. I mean, this is a game for this kid to come in and get reps and build his confidence up. I don't. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't see why we're starting Hoyer over him.
One key reason, think about it.
I mean,
if it's your ass on the line, where are you placing your faith?
I mean, I think we can get the same production out of Aiden, so I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, but not only that, but if he wins, you can't bench him.
Listen, let me try this again. It's your ass on the line. Who are you going with? Are you going with the rookie or somebody who started games for you before?
You want my honest opinion?
If it's your ass on the line,
my ass on the line, I'm starting Aiden O'Connell. And you might disagree with me, and that's fine. But Brian Hoyer is some shit.
I don't disagree with you. I would have started him too, but that circles us back to the original issue that we had in the first place, which is these guys being the judge of talent as for who you want playing quarterback for you, and what is winning quarterback play at the position at this time at this level. And they've brought in, and every quarterback, every single one that they brought in, have all been guys that have not been able to get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one. You're talking about 5-6 guys, and none of them have been able to get the job done.
One of them might have been able to get the job done, at least better than what we got now. He's sitting on the Broncos sideline.
2 of them.
Hey, let's be honest, bro. I think we'd be a lot better off if we just kept steady.
A lot better off.
A lot better off.
They wanted $10 million. That's the cold part. I was like, what are we doing?
He'll give you the same production as Jimmy G, if not better.
Sure.
Cost half or a third of the money.
And he'll be
way less than the third.
Out here getting his lip busted and all types of shit, getting back up. But again, some of the decision making has been awful, and as it's not his first time, so these are some lumps that he should not be taking. This is what he was supposed to have worked through and organized and planned for and figured out a way to overcome before he got to this point.
Yep. Remember, he learned his lesson in Denver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all kind of fucking feel the same way, brother.
Well, like this is there's a lot of this is inexcusable.
It is. There's a lot of fireable offenses. Let's be honest.
A lot of fireable offenses here. And while I'd like to say that I don't think that the scheme is all bad and that the play calling is trash and all that stuff, there's too many other things that could happen that could work and be a better use of the talent on this team.
Yep.
For whatever reason, all this option shit is not working for them. You're taking pieces that were elite pieces and rendering them useless. You're making decoys.
Yeah, I agree with you because and that's where I do think the play call, maybe not the play call, but the like Derek said it, for instance, before he left. Like, I'm told where to go.
Don't quote Derek.
Bringing him up. I'm not bringing him up like that. But Jimmy, then Jimmy, hold on, listen. Jimmy came out and said the sort of kind of like the same thing, right? And then people were calling for Mayer to get the ball. And then last week the kid snapped off. He popped off. And then it's like, Renfro, what are you doing, Rich? Renfro's still not getting the ball. I just think that there's this offense is meant for two reads, man, 16 and 17.
No, I was doing my Derek Carr impression. You know when he
No, I'm not bringing up Derek like that. I was just saying when he said that and we thought he was lying, then Jimmy kind of said the same thing. You know, it kind of points to like, you know, Josh has a specific way he wants to run the offense, and you know, the two guys that have been the most involved in the offense are in the passing game is Jacoby and Devontae. You know, it's Renfro and Mayer. Mayer up until last week was non-existent, and then last week he had a good game.
So that in itself is one more fireable offense. If you've had that on your team this entire time and you're struggling for offense, and you mean to tell me that you didn't decide to go to this kid who had this in the tank, which is what we expected to see from him early. That's right. Exactly how I expected him to get used, and it took to week fucking 6 for that to happen.
Exactly.
If you haven't discovered how to use your offensive pieces by week 6, you don't need to be here.
Right. And if we all watch the game, right? You notice once he started catching them passes, he started blocking better. I mean, he started doing everything better.
He got hit you with that white man's clap.
You know
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, me and my pops are having this discussion. I think right now, if you were to trade Hunter Renfrow to a different team, he would go back to doing the things that he does.
I'm sure he can, but guess what? Because you don't make him a critical part of the offense, there's no value for him. What are you trading him for? A ham sandwich at this point?
Yeah, because at this point you're trading to another team. You're paying them for the right to take that contract off your hands. That's what's holding the deal up. Now the other piece to that is that you don't need him. Honestly, you don't need him.
Tucker.
Point
You need Tucker. Let's be honest. You need Trey Tucker because Tucker brings speed to the offense.
Here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with the Trey Tucker thing. You do need Trey Tucker. I agree with you. Who the fuck's getting Trey Tucker the ball?
That's
Jimmy.
A noodle arm quarterback. Noodle arm quarterback.
You know,
rookies have a ball. Brian Hoyer's hit him deep. It's like I had Mo on my show this week, and an just average quarterback play would have this team looking like a playoff team.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not getting it though.
No, we are not.
No.
I honestly, if we really want to be honest about it, has Jimmy played in one game this year where he hasn't thrown an interception or turned the ball over?
First one, I believe.
At this point, I really don't even care.
He's
the one he did. But
long line of sorry ass quarterbacks for this team.
Yeah. I really don't. It doesn't matter. Still leading
Rich Gannon.
Leading interceptions. Aiden O'Connell's leading the league in fumbles.
Yeah. Like, I don't have an explanation for that shit.
I do. Your coach continued to leave a subpar right tackle in there to continue to allow his quarterback to get mangled because he's getting beaten out of his stance.
Bro.
Yeah, and it amazes me because every time they put Mumford in the fucking game, he's way better than what we're getting out of Jermaine right now.
Jermaine?
What?
I don't think Jermaine is elf manure is that great, bro. He's not that great.
That's what I'm saying. We keep leaving this guy in here. He's getting fucking blown the fuck up. Okay. But when we switch it in for Mumford, we're getting better production. We are.
Hey, Twan. You know what? I agree with you, dude. I agree with you. But at the same time,
that was sarcastic from Tawan. I already know.
Hey, man does win though. You got to give him that. Man does win. You know what I mean? Got to give him his props.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it, bro. That's another thing that just kills me, bro, is the whole Mumford thing. The whole, like, why isn't he start? They should just leave him in and start at right tackle. Like, we're getting better production out of it.
Need to move Van Rotten out of there too.
He looks shit too.
He looks so much better in the preseason because looking at us, just like when I watched him run into Zamir White, I was like, bro, what are we doing?
We just need to call Alex Bars back up, bro. Hey, Alex, you ready to come off the
couch? Up, bro. Shut up.
You ready to come off the couch?
And play the left guard so he can move Dylan back to the right side and have things go right again.
Rich, you want to say shut up, but here's the reality of it. This offensive line was doing way better with Alex Bars than Van Roten, buddy. And that's a fact.
I agree with you. But I was all wanted Bars off this team. Tell the truth.
I said he wasn't that bad.
I wasn't the biggest fan of him, but he
Yo,
was on the team. But
you bro. You ain't got to lie.
I don't have to lie because the reality
is that shit.
as good as the line was last year, every accolade they made with him on the roster.
let's put it this way. Rich, just to put it into perspective. The only person that we replaced on this offensive line was that position. Everything else is the same.
Uh-huh.
We replaced Bars.
Uh-huh.
Our offensive line has been some dog water.
Dog water.
And he was the only one that we got rid of and replaced him with Van Roten. Van Roten's some shit. And Illuminator's some shit too. And I hope you motherfuckers are watching because y'all some shit. That's all I can say, bro. Put Mumford
Play
in.
better.
Yeah.
Play better.
Yeah. Mumford and Bars, man. That's what we need right now.
Hey, if that's what it calls for, that's what it calls for. Let it be. If that's the difference between winning and losing, it's a very simple and easy choice to make. Question is, will the fearless leader be man enough to make that call?
Right.
I guess I'm not really paying attention that much because I'm focused on so many other things. But are we still doing a lot of zone running or are we doing power now?
Still zone.
Oh, yeah, we started off with power, then we switched back to zone.
So that's the thing that kind of kills me.
I watch it so often. I really wonder if they're just required to do it that way because it happens yearly that zone blocking scheme doesn't work for this team because you have power block. You got your offensive line is too big.
Right.
Well, Josh built his resume last year off of power running,
which I expected it to be this year as well. But the other thing is that Jacob Johnson is giving you nothing.
We took the Jakob off of it. We took the Jakob off of it.
Jakob Johnson.
While our boys over there in Miami turning it up.
Hey, yeah, I was just about to say, you know who's doing his thing though? My boy Ingold over there doing his thing.
Yeah, didn't want him.
You
know what I mean? But he's on a team to put up 70 points this year.
Why? Why? Because we don't want him to. We all we want him to do is be a human battering ram. He doesn't need to do anything else but just run another human being.
Yeah, because every time he's on the field, we don't want defenses to have to.
You know what's crazy about Ingold? And Phil could probably even agree to this. The craziest thing about Alec Ingold too is that kid's got so much heart in him because when me and Phil ran into him at the Super Bowl, Phil, you could probably attest he wasn't that big.
No,
I was taller than him. I think. I mean,
roughly about as tall as we are. When I saw him at training camp, he looked a lot bigger, but he had his pads on. But he's not a huge guy per se. He's about 6 foot 230. Because remember, these days your running back, your skill position players are getting smaller and smaller.
Well, then again, he was kind of dealing with that little hand injury or whatever. He had a broken wrist or something like that because he had that thing on his wrist. So maybe he wasn't working out or something like that. So we didn't see him at his biggest. But the point is that he wasn't very big. I mean, and
neither was Austin Eckler. We saw him too. Austin Eckler was almost, dare I say, little.
He is little, actually, and it's crazy how strong that dude is when he runs the football because he was a small little fucker.
Yeah.
No, that's facts, man. That's facts. But no, you're right, man. We're not getting a lot out of Jakob Johnson, but also I think the same thing with Jakob Johnson. He performed better last year when we were doing the power shit. Whatever they were having him do in the power running game, he was just better.
The power running game is not working this year. Let's be honest. If your quarterback's not going to throw the ball more than 15 yards down the field,
Nobody backing off the line of scrimmage.
ain't nobody backing off the line of scrimmage, and every defense is going to come downhill on you. They blitz you all day long.
That's the one thing I hate about the Raiders is even when we had Carr, defenses were saying, make him beat us. Hit him and he's done. Hit him and he's done. Now this year with Jimmy, they're saying, make those motherfuckers beat us by throwing the ball because he ain't throwing it deep. Make them beat us by throwing the fucking football. And, like, I don't want defenses to fucking have that aura about us, make them beat us by throwing the fucking football. I hate that, bro.
Wait. Let's put this into real perspective. A Raiders quarterback that doesn't throw deep.
A whole depth chart of quarterbacks that don't have the biggest arm.
Look, Rich Gannon did not have a fucking big arm, but he would throw it 30, 40 yards down the field.
35 max.
You know what I mean?
And Aiden O'Connell will do that for you too. Throw it in and have you.
I said at 15. Hey, bro. I'm only between the numbers, 18 yards. That's all you get. I hit the check down outside the numbers. That's it. That's all I do. I mean, because that's where we're at in our current state with our quarterback. Let's be honest.
It's what it is.
Yeah. Michael Penix season, boys. That's what I want. I want Michael Penix so bad. Let's go. It sucks to fucking sit here in the middle of an NFL season again and think about the fucking draft. But I'm like, dude, just go get me my quarterback. You guys didn't do it this last year. Please bless us with it this year. Please.
Have to do it. The way the salary cap dictates it is that they're going to have to do it. Now, Chandler, obviously his cap hit comes down considerably the way they restructured his contract come this time next year. But they need to do some things and address some things, but I like the direction the defense is headed, and they should keep it together. They don't need to blow this team up. They just need to find somebody who can work with what they have, and I think that one of those guys is going to be in between Bieniemy, Waldron, or Ben Johnson. Yeah. And I would say that Ben Johnson would probably be better for the offense, for the overall offense, but I'm curious to see what he would do for his own personal quarterback.
I think if you're drafting a quarterback and you need to get yourself a future of the future of the offense, get yourself your future, I think Bieniemy's the guy. Because I think he's the proven guy that can draft develop
a quarterback.
He can develop a quarterback. He knows what he needs a quarterback to do. And I'm not saying he's the greatest thing in the world, but Bieniemy has I'm talking about Sam Howell, by the way, when I say that I'm not saying he's the greatest thing in the world, but if you watch the Commanders play, are they winning a ton of football games? But offensively, they're doing all right.
Yeah,
they're doing all right offensively, and it's Bieniemy over there calling the plays. And if anybody had any questions about that guy and calling the plays and being the play caller, those questions, if he doesn't get a head coaching job this year, I'm really going to question some things because he's over there calling
that offense. You got that part. The Chiefs don't look the same. The Chiefs don't look the same.
Nope.
They don't look unbeatable.
Having for a while, the reality is the quarterback position has been what's been holding the Raiders back for at least 2-3 years now.
Now, the thing that scares me about Bieniemy is I would love him to come over here and be the Raiders coach, but I think if Washington was to move on from Ron Rivera, they would do everything in their power to keep him.
And that is a very real possibility. And But you just have to offer him more.
Yep.
That would be if you're going to get one of these premier quarterbacks in the second round, go up and get a guy super high. He would be the guy that I'd want developing them because he's now developed two separate quarterbacks. He had three if you really want to get technical because Alex Smith was playing the best ball of his life up there in Kansas City towards the end when he got replaced.
Waldron's the OC in Seattle, correct?
Yes, he got Geno right.
Yeah, so that's another thing I was gonna say is that he did get Geno right. I don't actually know. I can't speak on how Geno's playing this year. I haven't paid attention too much, but I'll tell you what. Last year, Geno looked like they had untapped into his potential of what he should have been his entire career.
Virginia, yeah. They're having some offensive line issues, and then I think DK's been hurt or hurting and hasn't been as productive as he normally would be. Seattle's they're not struggling to put points up on the board. He's not doing anything crazy, but it's not quite as sharp as he was last year,
Right.
which was leading the league. So,
Hey, fellas, I got to get up extra early in the morning, so I'm gonna have to shut this down. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I think it's a 10 o'clock game tomorrow, right?
yep.
All right, I'll hit you guys tomorrow.
All right.
All right, peace out. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, man.